Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's the Falcon Graphix Tuesday Night Lights Micro Sprint Series. Get ready for action!
All right, hello and welcome everyone to Georgia, Brazelton, Georgia, for Lanier Speedway, National Speedway here. Little 3/8 mile dirt oval. Normally this track's got a little bit of a harder surface, but you know, every once in a while they'll put some dirt on this track and we will go racing on it. We are just in the final seconds of our practice session here before we go into some heat racing action at this 3/8 mile clay oval. See Donnie Bartlett out there getting some final laps in before practice comes to a close. And there is the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. We will be getting ready to go green flag racing in our heat races here tonight. 10 lap heats. See what these guys can make to see where they will start their race. 3 cars per heat race. Let's take a look at starting lineup number 1 here. At least when things decide they want to pop up for us. There we go. Drawing the lucky number 1 position. Zach Wagner in that 3 car. Draws lucky pole position. Jason Smith in that number 8 car will be starting outside of him. Bringing up the back of this pack. He's won 2 races already this season. Came up a very close. Well, had some issues last week, but he will be coming up in 3rd place here in that number 5 car, Mr. Michael Steele. Now we got all 3 cars on the track here getting ready to go. We got 10 laps, and these guys will figure out where they're going to start the feature race. By how they finish this race here, this will set our inside row up. See the pace trucks start to move around this track, showing these guys around here for 2 laps. Then the field will be in the hand of that number 3 car. You see that red and black one on the inside. He will have control coming out of 3 and 4 to the green flag. They do have to wait till that green flies. We'll be seeing the pace truck pull off here as he comes out of turn number 4, leaving the field in the hands of Zach Wagner there on the inside of the first row. See the pace truck pulling down now, coming out of turn 4, green flag in the air. Great start from that, all 3 of them. We see Michael Steele diving it to the bottom, taking him 3 wide, taking that lead away. Michael Steele not wasting any time here. He wants that ultimate starting position there, starting the inside of the first row. Jason Smith able to hold on that outside line. Holding on to second, Zach Wagner, the biggest loser, starting pole position and fell back into third. And as we go along here, 2 laps into this race already, you see Smith kind of reeling that 5 car in just a little bit, but still had the momentum off the corner, open that gap back up. And pretty even between the top 2 cars here, looking at their lap times within 0.02 of a second of each other the last time across the line. These guys are running fairly similar lap times every time across the line. That time across, once again, 0.02 of a second. Jason Smith ever so slightly faster than Michael Steele, but 0.02 is going to be a lot of laps to try to close that down. With only 4 laps remaining, he's going to need to find a little extra speed. Michael still leading these guys around here. Smith in seconds, Wagner in third. These guys are racing hard right now. Michael Steele finding a little bit more speed on that bottom line than Smith has been. That time around there, he was a full 1/10.5 faster. Steele finding a little bit of grip down there. You see Smith moving up a lane, trying to find a little bit of something there as we go white flag one more time around. Michael Steele coming around turns 3 and 4 one last time to take the win here in heat race number 1. Jason Smith bringing that 8 car home in second. Zach Wagner falling back from starting pole position will finish this race in third. And that is how we will see them line up on that inside row in our feature race. Now let's take a look to see what our second heat race lineup to determine the outside row is going to look like. On pole position in that 420 machine, Ray Unk Andrews. Josh Walker, glad to see him back out here, starting on the outside pole in that number 2 machine. Bringing up the back of this pack, Donnie Bartlett in that 21 car. Pace truck rolling away for the first of 2 pace laps here. Get these engines warmed up, get these guys ready to race. 10 laps here in heat race number 2, and we will have our starting lineup figured out for the feature event here tonight. We are also getting word that the scheduled 40 lap distance, these cars for some reason do not have enough fuel in them to make the 40 laps, so the official decision has been made. Lap 30 will be our final lap. So our scoring will be incorrect, but we will run to lap 30 and that race will be official at lap 30 instead of lap 40. Pace truck pulling off, green flag wave, and good start on that outside row from Josh Walker. Ray Andrews, though, holding tight on the inside. Side by side through 3 and 4 here. Who can lead the first lap? It will be Walker in that number 2 car. Andrews slipping up just a little bit there, almost in the clutches of Bartlett. Donnie moving to the inside here, going into turn number 3. And is able to sneak ahead of Ray just ever so slightly. Ray, I think, was ahead at the line. Ray finding a little bit of momentum up on that top side here. We see Walker. Heat race number 1, those guys were glued to the bottom line. Now we see Walker, Andrews, and Bartlett here trying that outside line. In fact, we see them kind of wandering around, trying to look a little bit here, a little bit there. Kind of looking like Walker was preferring the inside in 1 and 2, the outside in 3 and 4, but now we're not quite sure what's going on here. They're looking everywhere on this track, trying to find where the grip is. Right now, Walker out to a solid lead. 0.6 seconds, over half a second back to Ray Andrews, who's holding off a hard-charging Donnie Bartlett. Bartlett looking a little bit higher, lane higher than Andrews, who's running the middle of the track there in 3 and 4. Now Bartlett to the bottom, Andrews to the top, side by side coming out of 2. Andrews catching the outside wall. That's going to give the advantage to that 21 car. 2 or 3 laps to go here, coming to 2 to go. Bartlett, Andrews side by side for second place here, battling hard. Neither one finding an advantage here. Still side by side coming into turn number 1 here. 2 laps left to go, lap and a half now. Walker loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. This is letting him drive away. He's now a second and a half up as he takes a white flag one more time. Andrews finding a little bit of something on that outside line. Clears the 21 car of Donnie Bartlett coming into turn 3 for the final time. Josh Walker is going to win heat race number 2. Ray Andrews holding off a hard charge for second place here. And Donnie Bartlett going to have to settle for third. That was a fair bit of excitement right there. Now we go into our final practice session here. 3-minute warm-up before we go into our 30-lap feature race. We see all cars pulling out onto track except for Ray Andrews. Ray looks like he's the only... Oh, Ray is just coming down pit road now to come out on track. 6 cars here tonight. And hopefully we'll get a good show here. Josh Walker looking pretty strong on that outside line. Michael Steele, he was preferring that inside during the heat. But the one big thing about dirt racing is that track will change a fair bit from the start of the or drop of the green flag all the way through to the checkered. Right now, though, on the leaderboard, Michael Steele, fastest car on the track, a 13.397. Jason Smith coming up close behind him in 13.483, almost a tenth off. And then Walker, our third fastest car out there right now, 13.537. A little bit of a spread between our top drivers at the moment, but you know, out there when you got this gap between you and you're not really racing side by side, you can kind of put the car wherever you want, and you have that opportunity to go out and kind of experiment on where that car will make some grip and how you can take those corners and actually get some speed. So may not be the exact telltale sign here. When you get mixed up in traffic, you're going to lose a little bit of time on that racetrack too. So coming out to the final minute of our practice session here. Our 3-minute warm-up. Michael Steele, Jason Smith, Josh Walker still leading the top of the leaderboard. Donnie Bartlett moving his way up into 4th fastest position. Ray Andrews, Zach Wagner are two guys bringing up the tail end of this field. Right there, you get a little bit of an idea just the difference in the two lines that these two drivers are taking. Michael Steele far lower on that track than Josh Walker is, as we see Walker catching that outside wall just a little bit. Definitely going to want to be careful doing that in the actual race. These cars, they can definitely go for a barrel roll. But that brings us to the end of our warm-up session, and we are getting ready to go green flag racing. As stated earlier, there was a bit of a technical difficulty, meaning these cars will not have enough fuel to go the 40 laps that we had scheduled for today. Our leaderboard is going to show 40 laps, but we are going to end the race 10 laps early to make sure these guys can actually make it the entire distance on fuel. But let's take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's 30-lap feature. Michael Steele won heat race number 1, starts number 1 in that 5 car on the inside. Outside of him in the number 2 car, Josh Walker won heat race number 2. We're going to have to keep an eye on the battle here for these top 2 cars. Starting row 2 inside, the number 8, Jason Smith. Outside of him, Ray Unk Andrews in that 420 machine. And bringing up the back row of this pack, inside in 5th position, the 3 car, Zach Wagner. On the outside of him, in that 21 all chromed out car, Donnie Bartlett. Pace car is rolling. Got 6 cars starting. Only one of these guys can win. Can Michael Steele win his 3rd race this season? Will we have a new winner? Well, only one way to find out, and 30 laps to settle it out. Pace truck's rolling now. We get a lap and a half, and we are going green flag racing. We'll be seeing the pace truck pull off to the inside of the infield here, leaving the field in the hands of Michael Steele and that pink number 5 machine on the inside. Green flag in the air. Michael Steele kind of sleeping a little bit there. Walker with a good start on that outside, but Michael Steele challenging back to the inside through 1 and 2 is looked like he might have actually been clear of that number 2 of Walker, but he played it safe, stayed down, gave room on that outside line. Walker still battling back on that outside line. Not quite able to keep up with Steele. Steele's clear, but holding off the challenge from Jason Smith in 3rd place. Meanwhile, a little bit deeper in the field here, Donnie Bartlett, Ray Andrews continue their battle. In fact, they're taking the fight to Jason Smith on that outside there. Smith now to the inside there, Ray to the outside, staying up in front of the 21 of Donnie Bartlett, keeping that chrome silver machine behind him. Smith doing a great job holding off the hard charge there from the 420 car of Ray Andrews, holding on to that 3rd place position. Josh Walker in our 2nd place in that number 2 car. You see, he's still preferring that outside line, and he's maintaining pace with that number 5 car. But he's not really gaining anything on Michael Steele. Michael is still gluing the car to that inside line. Jason Smith still in 3rd place here. Ray Andrews keeping that gap pretty close here. He's been having to keep an eye on that rear view mirror if these cars even had one on that 21 machine of Donnie Bartlett, but Ray's actually been able to open that gap up just a little bit here the last few laps. Not under too much pressure from behind here, but he is slowly losing a little bit, especially to 3rd place here. Jason Smith kind of looks like he might be kind of biding his time. We know that 8 car is pretty quick when he wants it to be. Ray Andrews now having Donnie Bartlett catching back up to him. Donnie looking to the inside, trying to make a move. Not quite able to make anything happen. Ray holding on to the lead right now, or onto third or fourth place. Sorry, excuse me, the leader. I'm thinking here's Michael Steele. Michael, it's opening the gap up just ever so slightly. 1 second ahead right now of Josh Walker in second place. Walker's got a pretty solid gap back to Smith though now. In fact, that gap between Smith and Andrews closed considerably. I wonder if maybe Smith bobbled, brushed the wall, did something, because Ray Andrews is on his tail, trying to take the battle to him for third place. As we come up to halfway through this race, Ray Andrews fighting for third place. Jason Smith trying his best to keep it. In fact, he is opening that gap back up. Not letting Ray Andrews get that peak to the inside, to the outside, anywhere that 420 could find extra speed on him. Right now, our race leader, no contest, slowly opening that gap up. He is looking to go race number 3. Or for race win number 3, that is. Josh Walker, though. Josh is trying. Their lap times fairly consistent and fairly close, but right now, Jason Smith, the only guy really contesting our leader, Michael Steele, 4 lap times. I say that, and Josh Walker just ran the fastest lap that time around. 13:39. Definitely some speed still in this track as we got 10 laps remaining in this race. As I stated earlier, a little bit of a technical glitch. These cars do not hold enough fuel to go 40 laps. So we are calling it with 10 laps to go. Michael Steele looking good to try to take, but he's got lap traffic. He's got the 3 car, Zach Wagner, ahead of him. Zach's running that outside line. That shouldn't bother Michael too much. We see Michael is still preferring that inside line. But he cannot afford too much playing around here, getting around that 3 car. And looking back here, we got a battle for 4th place. Donnie Bartlett has managed to sneak his way around that 420 machine of Ray Andrews. Ray slipping back into 5th place. Not going to be content. He is going to give it everything he can. But laps are winding down. 5 laps to go here in this race. As we got Michael Steele coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Has a 1 lap car between him and 2nd place, Josh Walker. But that little bit of battling to get around that lap car has allowed Josh to close that gap ever so slightly. But now Josh has to contend with that lapper. It's going to do the same thing for him that it did for Steele. It's going to slow him down just a little bit with 3 laps to go. He cannot afford to waste time. He's got to get around that 3 car. Two laps to go here in this race. Michael Steele with a handy lead over Josh Walker, back up to 1.3, 1.4 seconds now as they come across the line with white flag in the air. Josh Walker, Jason Smith holding on to 3rd place. Donnie Bartlett in 4th. Ray Andrews in 5th as we got Michael Steele coming across the line to win the race. Now these guys were given permission to continue going to see how long these cars would actually make it. So if we do actually make the 40 laps, then bonus, I guess. But our official, unless they make the 40 laps, our official will be Michael Steele, Josh Walker, Jason Smith, Donnie Bartlett, Ray Andrews, and then Zach Wagner. But we'll see. They still have 7 laps in the scheduled distance. Right now, Michael Steele holding on tight. Josh Walker in second place with that number 2 car. Now, this is about the time they said they were starting to run out of fuel. In fact, I think we just saw, we're just watching Zach Wagner pull into the infield. Donnie Bartlett doing the same here. It does appear that they are running out of fuel slowly but surely. And yes, the race is going to be considered official here. Michael Steele, Josh Walker, Jason Smith will be our top 3 finishers. Donnie Bartlett, Ray Andrews, Zach Wagner will finish out our running order. But a huge congratulations to Michael Steele coming out, taking the checkered flag. Even though the checkered flag came out a little bit earlier than we perhaps anticipated. But let's take a moment here. Let's hopefully get our guys up into the broadcast booth for their post-race interview. And yes, we've got our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Jason Smith. Jason, how's it going?
Little hard race to get going, but I mean, it happens.
Well, it's definitely, not the race we expected to have. It unfortunately, there's a bit of a technical difficulty with the fuel tank. I'm not sure exactly where that went wrong or what was getting crossed, but hey, we made the best of it. You went out, you put on a good race, so how's the track there? Like, was it changing quite a bit, or was there, just not enough grip for where you needed it to be?
I mean, the bottom went away probably in the first 5 laps. I don't think there was much left of it anyways from warm-ups, but top side was kind of there, kind of not. I was running 3rd most of the race, and then I popped it into 4th, tried just ripping and see if I could make it stick, and I felt like I was gaining a little bit, and then I just wasn't going anywhere again, so.
Well, and that's definitely unfortunate. Like we saw Josh and Michael both kind of walk away from you guys there in the back half of the field, and you had to contend with Ray and Donnie for a few laps there. They're kind of taking the business to you. What was the little bit of secret sauce you found that managed to keep them behind you, or was it them starting to battle each other?
Probably a mixture of that, and I think when I popped it into 4th, I started pulling when I did run the top, so kept my pace up again. But I don't know what they were running behind me, but Ray seemed faster than me in the first couple laps, and then fell off again, then caught back up to me. And once I did that, it seemed like I could stabilize, but little tough still.
Well, and we know Unk is pretty quick in that car when he wants to be, and he definitely gave you, made you earn that 3rd place position. So
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's definitely a good racer when he like you said, when he wants to be. So
well,
by the way, that was fun overall.
oh, for sure. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the full 40 laps in, but we made the best with the 30 we had. So, and I'm sure you got a few names on that car you want to give a shout out to there that helped make that car as quick as it was for those 30 laps.
Yeah, my team J&J Virtual Motorsports, Wellman Sim Racing, Ohio Valley Sim Sports, and a special shout out to Justin, who unfortunately couldn't join us, of Misfit Creations. Hope he feels better very quickly.
Yes, it's unfortunate not having Mr. Walbring with us, but as you said, the best of wishes, and get better soon, Justin. We can't wait to get you back out on track with us.
For sure, for sure.
All right, Jason. Well, hard-earned 3rd place, but you still podiumed. It's still a good chunk of points, so we'll see what we can do going throughout the remainder of the season here.
Yeah, man, I'll take it.
All righty, you take care.
You too, buddy.
Alrighty, bringing up 2nd place, Josh Walker in that number 2 car. Josh, for a 30 lap race or so, You definitely didn't let Michael walk right away from you, but what did you need just to get that little bit more to keep up and maybe perhaps pass him?
More laps in these things. That was probably the fifth time I've ever run these, and just don't have enough laps on them. So I was trying to figure out how much throttle input I needed to get in on entrance and not slide the right rear. And I started to figure it out just a little bit. I could run him down a hair, then he'd pull me again, then I'd move up to the top to see if I could find something. I'd make some decent time up there, then he'd go right back to hitting his laps. So it's just one of them deals where I just along for the ride in second there.
Well, then you might perhaps be surprised to hear that you actually ran the fastest lap of the race. Not by a whole lot, but you do have that honor tonight.
Yeah, I seen where we hit the fastest lap there once our fuel started to get low. I think that's really what helped as far as the fastest lap deal. But I did find a line there where I could make speed. I couldn't hit it consistent enough to be able to run Michael down there.
Well, and we know that Michael's a pretty still competitor. It doesn't seem to matter what car we throw that guy in. So to find that little bit of extra speed that you need to try to pass him, it can be difficult.
Oh yeah, Michael's a dirt guy like I am. Like I say, I race dirt in real life, so him he knows that, and him outrunning me, he knows he's beat somebody that does this a lot. So I'm not a real I don't run wing sprint cars or any type of that. I run late models, so this is totally new ball game to me too. So, but either way, I enjoy racing Michael. He's a good competitor and races clean, and he just outrun us tonight.
Well, so far running away with the series this season. This is his third win, so it's going to take a bit of an effort for anyone to catch up to him in the point standings at this point.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent when he is able to show up, and like I said, it's dirt stuff. You can go ahead and count him. He's gonna finish up front unless something happens. We've run that dirt cars league quite a few times, and he was leading at Fairbury in a late model race, and something happened to his computer, and I got by him. Um, but I was all over him there. And then when we run limited stuff, it was either me or him or one other guy just about every week winning. So he's most definitely a fierce competitor to the dirt side of stuff, and he's someone you got to watch out for.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, I'm sure you got a few names on that car you want to give a holler out to there. That it takes a concerted effort, even on sim racing, to make these cars go.
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank the Lock Dock and Strange Brew Racing, my team on Monday nights, and just all y'all here at the league to give us a place to race during the week.
Well, it's definitely great seeing you out here. Between the Monday night series that we run the Gen 6 car that alongside the actual Cup series, and you're a pretty solid contender out there. I rarely ever see you on track because I'm usually mid pack and you're somewhere near the front.
Yeah, we've been trying. We kind of got messed up with iRacing last night. We wound up having to serve a black flag there late in the race and put us 2 laps down. So I'm enjoying the Monday night stuff. I enjoy running up front, being competitive. There's still quite a few good guys over there that I've got to get up to par with. We're getting closer, so hopefully we'll squeeze one out here pretty soon.
Well, good luck going on. Hopefully, you make a few more races here on the Tuesday night side of things, and good luck in the Gen 6 series.
Alrighty, we appreciate it, bud.
Alrighty, well, we've talked to this fella here a few times so far this season, Mr. Michael J. Steele, in that 5 machine, doing a really solid job of dominating the season. You've won pretty much every race you've been in so far.
Yeah, except for the disaster of last week. So I wanted to show up tonight, even though I didn't get much practice. I was like, after last week, I need a rebound.
Well, last week we had a little bit of I'll say a caveat. Hunter Wellman actually managed to show up, and he was one of the biggest voices when it came to deciding what car we ran here on the dirt side of things and on Tuesday nights. And he's only made the one race, and kind of showed why he wanted to drive these things. But I think with a little bit more time, if you had to follow him, you catch right up to him.
Yeah, I mean, we've raced enough in other cars that I think we'd put on a good show. Even in the I want to say what maybe the pre-race that we did for Chili Bowl, or I don't remember what happened at the Chili Bowl. That I think we did a pre-race there. I know him and Larson were there, and we started to kind of get to where we were trying to race together, and then a bunch of cautions came out, and I remember I think my monitor froze or some dumb crap. But yeah, no. Last week I just probably the most embarrassing things I've ever done is just drive it straight into the tires, just full sim like that. And yeah, I didn't ever. I was so mad at myself that I didn't even watch any of the rest of the race. But I knew he won that in the mini stocks, and yeah, Hunter's a really good driver. So I know that anytime he's around, that it's going to be a tough fight.
Well, and like you mentioned, you kind of went into the tire there and damaged your car. And when you have somebody ahead of you that you know has got that at least the same amount of speed, maybe even a little bit more, I find personally myself that sometimes it's kind of a bad thing. You have that rabbit to chase, but sometimes it makes you push just that little bit too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was honestly that, but no, it's just me. Just I'm really good at running the bottom and really comfortable down there, and I knew that my best chance of getting out front was on the obviously initial start. So I saw an opening on the bottom and sent it down there. Just went a little bit too far and destroyed the front end of the car on the tire, and begging for a caution to come out somehow. But yeah, I never got a caution. At least got to go in and fix my damage. But by then I was already a lap down, and I always think that we need to intertwine some wave rounds and dirt racing. Unfortunately, just here and there, that would be nice. But yeah, it just is. I'm not the type to really quit, unfortunately. So I went in and took my quick repair and just cussed myself the next 30 laps or however long it was until we finished the race and got off and cussed some more.
Well, you definitely didn't make that mistake here, and you talked about making that big move. Well, you made a big move there in that heat race, took it 3 wide on that opening lap, diving to the inside. Man, that was an exciting move to watch.
Yeah, it's. I know that like even last night in our Gen 6 league, I know that between I think you were on the bottom and we had Matt Monroe up in the fence on the top side, and I was like, I run in middle and I have kind of a nose in, and he's up in the fence. So I was like, unfortunately, I feel like I need to kind of send it here, and yeah. So I don't like putting it through wide, but obviously, if you see a gap there and you see an opportunity, I mean, kind of have to take it. And I think if you watch anything on Thursday nights, you'll see that I love running the bottom, and I think old Justin Walbring even calls me a catfish here and there just because I love running the bottom so much. So yeah, I'm gonna see it. If I see an opening there, I'm normally gonna take it, and I'll take my chances. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And last time I just didn't win. Thankfully this week I did.
Well, it gave you the best starting spot for the feature race, and you didn't look back from there. So, congratulations on the win number 3 so far this season. Let's see. That's going to extend your points lead a considerable bit.
Yeah, I hate not seeing Mason here. We whenever he was here at the beginning of the season, we put on a few good battles. I know Jason Smith's always pretty quick, and anytime Josh is around, we've had some good battles on. I won't say on the Gen 6 or anything like that because normally he's way ahead of me, but at least on Thursday nights in the late model league, him and I have had some pretty good battles and everything so far. So yeah, it's always fun racing with Josh. He's super clean, super good. So the good thing about this league is there's a lot of really good drivers that race pretty much every single night. So no matter where you are, you're gonna find some competition.
Well, and the best thing about this is most of the guys in this league have raced each other for a couple of years at this point, so we all know each other's driving style and know what we can do around each other.
Yeah, 100%. I'm also I'm not the type to hide secrets or anything like that. So if anybody ever comes to me and asks any questions or ever needs any help, whatever like that, I'm always willing to help where I can. And obviously, I have more expertise and not even these type of dirt cars, more of late models, UMPs, and all that. But I mean, especially racing on dirt is just a lost art. I know Dean tried it a few times and some other people, and I know they're good drivers. If they just gave a little bit more chance and maybe asked for a little bit of help, I think they'd figure it out. I'd love to see some more people racing on these nights.
For sure. All right, Michael. Well, we are getting close to the start of our mini stock race here, so maybe we should hear those sponsors one more time of yours.
Yeah, obviously JJR, Rise Bracelets, Stowe Graphics Designs, Raw Staunton Racing, Elite Performance Industries, JBM, 51 Raceworks, Peanut Baker Racing, Mama Tried Welding Caps, uh, you, Mick, Dean, for everything y'all do with the league's broadcast, give us a place to race and everything like that. So Yeah. Obviously, I'll also got to give a shout out to Marcy and Vivi. That's normally the first people I say every single week, and I slipped up this week. So always appreciate them for letting me race. And thoughts and prayers obviously go out to Justin, all his health issues and everything like that. Hope he gets everything figured out and get on the right track going forward.
Absolutely. All right, Michael, congratulations on the win. And I'll see you here in a little bit in the mini stocks.
Yeah, I have to talk to Marcy, see if I could show up for that one, but hopefully we'll see you there.
Oh, I hope so.
Take care, buddy.
You too. Alrighty. Well, Michael Steele, 3 races, or well, 3 race wins in, I believe this is the 5th event. He's going to be a top contender for this championship. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that guy. That number 5 car is quick in these winged micro sprints. My God, I cannot speak all of a sudden. But yeah, big congratulations out there to Michael Steele. Donnie Bartlett coming out here, doing his best. Ray Andrews coming up just a little bit short, finishing in 5th position. Zach Wagner gave it his all, came up 6th, but Michael Steele, Josh Walker, Jason Smith rounding out our top 3. Big congrats to those guys. Thank you for everyone coming out. And yeah, well, we will see you guys again next week at the same time here as this week. We will be going to I-55, I believe. Yeah, I-55 Speedway. So, yeah, see you guys then.